Hello, everyone. My name is Brynn Krug, and I'm the editor-in-chief here at the Northern Star.
And I'm Sarah Rose, the managing editor, and welcome back to The Trend, a Northern Star pop culture podcast.
Each week on The Trend, we talk about a couple trending pop culture topics, and then at the end of the episode, we will rank them from worst to best, and then we also say whether we think they are in or they're out.
Let's get into it.
All right, so nothing crazy has happened this week. Definitely had bigger things on the last week's episode, but we do have the list of Oscar nominations.
Yes, we do. That is huge. The start of a new year always means the start of award season, so it's always super exciting. And the Oscars, everybody knows what it is. It is the biggest one.
I was going to say, I feel like the Oscars is the only one where it's like, I look ahead of time. I actually have opinions on who's going to win.
Yeah.
And in previous years, probably not this year because I don't have that kind of time right now, but like in previous years, like me, like my mom and my sibling would like try to watch all of the Oscar noms, which ends up being so many movies. But yeah, so I don't know if I'll do this year, but I'm definitely going to watch at least a couple.
Yeah, I always say I'm going to do that every year, and then I never have time for it because school.
Yeah, and it's like if there's 10 different movies nominated, 10 movies is a lot to watch.
That is.
But I feel like the one people care about the most is Best Picture.
Oh, yeah, that's the big one.
Yeah, and the ones nominated are Anora, The Brutalist, A Complete Unknown, Conclave, Dune Part 2, Amelia Perez, I'm Still Here, Nickel Boys, The Substance, and Wicked.
Crazy list.
Yeah.
Good list.
Out of all of those, I've only seen Dune Part 2, actually. But I've heard really good things about Anora and The Substance, and both of those are on my watch list. Like, I really want to watch those. I see so many edits. I need to watch them. And then A Complete Unknown, obviously. I'm going to find time to watch that, too. But yeah, the other ones, I've heard of Wicked. I've not seen. Did you watch Wicked?
I didn't, and to be honest, I don't think I'll see it in theaters. I think I'll end up watching it when it comes to, like, a streaming service.
Yeah, I'm just not super into it, and honestly, the press was too much, so it makes me want to not watch it out of spite. But I haven't really heard a lot about the other ones, except for Amelia Perez.
Oh my god.
And Amelia Perez was nominated in 13 categories.
13 categories, yes.
Nominated in 13. The record for most categories is set at 14. So being nominated for 13 is kind of a big deal.
That is a big deal.
The thing is, though, I've never heard anyone say anything positive about that movie.
Me neither.
It received a lot of previous award show praise, and that's when I first heard people talking about it, and they were saying, why is this winning awards? Especially as a musical over Wicked.
Yeah.
Why is this? It should not be winning awards.
I know. And I know nothing about it. I know about it from social media, but it is a musical movie. It has a A-list actress as the main star, Zoe Saldana. But I'll just give you guys, its Rotten Tomatoes score is 76%. And its IMDb rating is 6.4 out of 10. But I have not heard anything good about this either. And if you look it up, it also has Selena Gomez in it. I didn't know that. If you look it up, it's just all this the controversy with Amelia Perez, why people are not happy with Amelia Perez's Oscar noms, or whether it be Golden Globe noms, whatever. And I've seen a snippet from this movie. If you're on TikTok, you might have seen it.
Yeah.
Of one of the songs, and it's just bad.
Yeah. So the IMDb description is, Amelia Perez follows 4 remarkable women in Mexico, each pursuing their own happiness. Cartel leader Amelia enlists unappreciated lawyer Rita to help her fake her death so that she can finally live authentically as her true self. But it's I know, people were I saw a TikTok of someone just this is the synopsis of the movie. And it, sounded crazy to be she's helping a leader in the cartel, transition. And the one song that I've seen that, has been, like, over social media
Yeah.
is the character Rita going to, I believe, Bangkok and talking to a doctor there about, like, sex change operation procedures.
Yeah.
But it's, like, the way that it sounds is, like, it just is, like, words. Like, it's just, like, words strung along. Like, they're just singing. It's, like, you're just saying things. Like, there's no real, like, neither vocal or, like, strong musical undertone.
No.
Which, obviously, a musical needs. So it's, like, I feel like this, again, maybe I'm wrong. I have not seen the full film. I have only seen clips and discourse. But it seems like it could have potentially worked better not as a musical. Like, the musical aspects I've seen have not seemed strong, and honestly it feels like it makes it seem more of a joke. Like, it makes it almost, like, cornier to have that as a musical element.
Right. Yeah, I know exactly what scene you're talking about. But yeah, it just sounded like a conversation was just being horribly, quote unquote, sung when it really wasn't even, it didn't sound like a song. It was just words with music in the background. It was crazy.
Okay. The song is called La Vaginoplastia, which is like I believe that's Spanish.
Yeah.
Or
Sounds
whatever
like
language
French.
for the specific operation. But yeah, it, like, starts, "Hello, very nice to meet you. I'd like to see about sex change operation." And then the other person says, "I see, I see, I see." Like, that's so weird. Like, what?
Yeah.
One, like, okay, this is just, like, a conspiracy that I've seen. But I saw people saying that potentially the reason it could be, like, receiving this kind of buzz is because it's with Netflix. And there's a lot of, like, big funding in Netflix movies.
Yeah,
so it's
there
like
is.
maybe members of the Academy think, like, oh, you scratch my back, I'll scratch yours. Like, I highlight this Netflix film, give it these Oscar nominations, and then if I have a project that I want to run by Netflix in the future, they would be more willing to hear about that.
You know, that's so funny because if you know the running joke with Netflix, that Netflix, like, original movies just suck.
Mm-hmm.
And also, it's kind of gone downhill as a streaming platform, too. As it goes up in price, too.
Yeah, I was going to say, all streaming platforms
Yeah.
have low-key been going down because now it's just cable plus. Like, it's there's a million different things. Now we can't share passwords with Netflix. I have to, like, and I think that's Netflix password sharing, I think especially affects us as college students.
Yeah.
Because I know me personally, the Netflix account that I use is my family's.
Same.
So my family's address is different than the address that I have when I'm at school.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, if I want to log into Netflix, I have to be like, oh, I'm continuing, like, as a guest, like, I'm out of town using guest Wi-Fi. And then they have to send, like, an email, like, confirmation password to my dad. And then I have to text him and be like, hey, can I get the code?
Yeah.
So, yeah, it's just a big pain. So, Netflix is boo for that anyway.
Yeah.
But, yeah.
But I didn't know it was in, like, partnership with Netflix. So that makes so much sense because Netflix original movies they don't do really well.
Yeah. So Emilia Perez is, like, the big one, but again, like, I haven't seen, I don't know that I mean, I might see it, but I'm like,
No.
if there are that many, like I was just saying, like, I don't have time in my day to watch all the movies on this list.
Yeah.
And why would I watch that one when I haven't heard good things about it? When I've heard really good things, and a lot of these look really good, I would rather just watch those.
Yeah. And, like, speaking on the other Best Picture nominations, I've only seen Dune Part 2. I'm really shocked that movie didn't do what Emilia Perez did and get, like, 13 noms. Because
Dune, it was good.
When Dune Part 2 came out, oh, my God. Cinematography, 10 out of 10. The costume, 10 out of 10. The sound, 10 out of 10. The score, oh, my God, was so good.
Yeah. And that's also one that, like, production value, like, that was a big production, obviously.
Yeah.
Like, the sets that they had to do and, like, CGI and world building, like, that's a lot.
Yeah, and so I'm really shocked for, like, best picture is like the big one. I'm pretty sure they award it like the very last one. And so for best picture, you really have to take into account like everything that encompasses a movie.
Yeah. For Dune, it did get 5 nominations. Cinematography.
5?
Yeah, best picture, production design, sound,
Ooh.
visual effects. So, yeah, I think all of those are deserved.
I hope that it wins 2 to 3 out of those 5. 3. I hope it wins 3 out of those because it deserves it. Dune was so good.
Yeah.
I know Wicked's going to probably win a lot because, again, I'm not a fan of the movie. Like I said, I'm probably not going to watch it. But I know, like, the work that was put in to make that film. Like, they built all of their sets handmade. I know there's a huge, like, flower field in, like, Shiz, and they planted, like, 2,000 acres of flowers for that scene because they didn't want to use CGI. The costumes were great because, you know, it's, like, a high fantasy world. So I think that definitely is going to win a lot of awards. And I think, you know, I think it deserves because I've watched interviews with, like, the director, with the actors, and I was like, okay, you know.
Yeah. Wicked was nominated Cynthia Erivo for actress in a leading role, Ariana Grande for actress in a supporting role, and visual effects. So, yeah, it did get a lot.
That's good.
Yeah, for, like, the other big categories, actor in a leading role, we have Adrian Brody in The Brutalist, Timothée Chalamet in A Complete Unknown, Coleman Domingo in Sing Sing, Ralph Fiennes in Conclave, and Sebastian Stan in The Apprentice. And I haven't seen The Apprentice, but that's the one is like Sebastian Stan is young Donald Trump.
Oh my goodness, that's right.
Actress in a leading role, we have Cynthia Erivo in Wicked, Carlos Sofia Gascon in Emilia Perez, Mikey Madison in Anora, Demi Moore in The Substance, and Fernanda Torres in I'm Still Here. Again, like, I have not seen all these movies, but, like, at least for Wicked, Anora, and The Substance, like, based on the clips that I've seen, I can totally see those as being deserved.
Yeah.
Those are the biggest categories. I want Dune to get praise.
Me too.
I think, like, again, I can't really say, like, what I think is the best because I haven't seen a lot, but, yeah, I'm definitely going to try to watch more, and I'm excited to see how it pans out because it will be interesting if, like, Emilia Perez does get, like, all those nominations, but it doesn't win. I think that would be interesting to see. Yeah.
Because there's just movies that deserve those awards more. Because 13 is crazy. Like, I don't know if we said this, but La La Land had 14 nominations back in 2017.
Yeah, that's tied for the record.
And that was a musical movie. So it wasn't anything like, you know, Dune or Lord of the Rings or, like, a Marvel movie. Like, it was just a romantic comedy musical movie, and it did really good.
Yeah, the ones that are tied is La La Land, Titanic, and All About Eve. They all had 14.
Ooh, that's awesome.
Yeah.
I will say, really quick, for the animated feature film category, I'm looking at it, and Inside Out 2 and The Wild Robot is nominated. And I'm actually watching The Wild Robot tonight because it's on Peacock streaming. And I saw Inside Out 2 in theaters, and I love that. But I don't know if you know about The Wild Robot, but that got so many good reviews. I haven't seen a single bad thing about it.
Yeah, I haven't, like, seen it, but I've definitely heard of it.
It's IMDb is 8.2 out of 10, and then its Metacritic is 85 out of 100. But I heard that one was so good, and I hope that wins, just because I know I'm going to love it, and I'm probably going to cry to it tonight.
Yeah, I wasn't a huge fan of Inside Out 2.
I got so much secondhand embarrassment from that film.
Exactly. Like, Riley's character just, like, got on my nerves, and got so much secondhand embarrassment.
It
It was
was
hard to watch for me.
They portrayed a preteen really well, and I think they portrayed, like, you know, the emotions you feel, like, growing into high school really well, like anxiety, laziness. I thought that was really well done.
Yeah.
But I hope The Wild Robot wins for animated feature film.
Our next two topics are definitely smaller. The first one is just a little, like, TikTok trend that I don't know if you guys have seen, and I'm going to call it the hyperpigmentation trend.
Yes. No, that's
there
correct.
was, like, a viral video where a daughter, like, drew her mom, and the drawing is just, like, this profile view, and she has, like, a big, like, black circle on her cheek. And, like, a ponytail. And the mom was, like, laughing, but she was, like, the daughter was, like, so embarrassed. Like, she was like, oh, like, when Dad saw it, he laughed at it. And she was like, no, sweetie, it's so good. And the, like, circle on her cheek, she was like, is that my hyperpigmentation? So, like, that's why people call it that. But
it's so funny.
I just think it's funny. It was, like, an older, like, the video itself, like, I saw, like, ages ago. But it's been, like, re-trending. So I've seen people just, like, drawing hyperpigmentation. I saw someone get it tattooed on their neck.
I did.
Like, large. That is insane.
Too.
Don't do all that.
And it was, like, it looked like he was in his mid-20s. Maybe, like, 24, 25. And he was so, like, serious sitting in that tattoo chair, like, having the tattoo artist drawn. That is insane.
But, like, I've seen, like, a person made, like, a cookie of, like, hyperpigmentation, like, using, like, chocolate chips to kind of, like, draw it out. And I put that as the TikTok in Monday's TLDR. If you're not familiar, TLDR is the Northern Star's daily newsletter. You can sign up on our website, northernstar.info, so go do that.
Yes.
But yeah, so I just think it's funny. Like, it's just a lighthearted thing. I love little lighthearted trends.
No, it's so funny, and this is exactly what we needed for TikTok coming back after getting banned.
Yeah.
Something to make us laugh. This is why we love the app, y'all.
Yeah.
Oh, I will say one of my favorite video that I saw of it was somebody, like, was looking, they were on, like, a road trip, and they were, like, took a picture of the sky, and they were like, is that hyperpigmentation? And then the next slide was them, like, drawing it in the sky, and I thought they made it up. And then when you go back to the cloud sky where it's no drawing, you actually, like, see it in the sky, and I'm like, oh, no way, it's everywhere now.
Yeah. And I love how you can just say hyperpigmentation and people know what you're talking about.
I know.
That, like, you're referencing that meme.
I hope y'all know what we're talking about. This is, like, you got to be on the right side of TikTok for this.
Yeah.
For thin audience.
All right, and then our last topic is Timothée Chalamet. I know we talk about him a lot on this podcast, but this past Saturday, he was the host and musical guest of SNL.
He did it. He does it all. Timothée Chalamet. He is a triple threat. He can sing, he can dance, he can act. But no, he was on SNL this past weekend hosting because he had a film that came out in December, which you all probably know about. It was a Bob Dylan biopic called A Complete Unknown. He played Bob Dylan. And so he was once again kind of just promoting the film because he had just, the Oscar nominations had just came out. And so he was kind of, putting that in the know.
Yeah. But him being chosen as a musical guest is kind of big because, like,
he's an actor.
Well, he has his musicalness in Complete Unknown. Wonka. Yeah. I love Wonka. And then also, if you know his rap persona, Lil Timmy Tim. And I feel like he always does great on SNL too. Like, I always see people referencing those clips. I think he seems like a very, like, fun, endearing guy.
Oh, he's awesome. I love when he's on.
Yeah, I just want to say, I feel like he's, like, the Leonardo DiCaprio of, like, this generation. Like, he's, like, in my opinion, like, the biggest actor name. Like, everyone knows who he is. He just keeps getting more movies, keeps getting more praise. I love all his roles. His roles also have such a great variety. Like, he's so talented. And it's interesting, like with Leonardo DiCaprio. Like, we know of him as, oh, that super famous actor.
Yeah.
But, like, being able to see, like, witness Timothée Chalamet's, like, rise to fame and notoriety, like, in our time. Like, starting, he was in Interstellar. No one, like, knew who he was in Interstellar.
No.
Then Call Me By Your Name. Boom, he blew up. That's right when Lady Bird comes out.
Yes.
So it's like he's receiving all that buzz. And since then, obviously his career has skyrocketed. So I just think it's cool that, like, we've gotten to see that evolution. And obviously, like, he's a big name. And it's going to be interesting for, like, to see how long he stays in that, like, peak limelight.
Yeah, I agree. And I very much like the comparison of he is our generation's Leo, because I do take that seriously, because Leonardo DiCaprio in the 90s and early 2000s was huge. Everybody knows who he is, and Timothée really is that for us. And I'm really, he's so unproblematic. His range is crazy.
Mm-hmm.
And the effort that he puts into each role is so the dedication is amazing, and you can see it. And that's like somebody who deserves to get the praise, and he deserves to get good roles and the awards. Like, I remember watching an interview for A Complete Unknown, and he said that he learned the guitar, he learned the harmonica. I think he said it was a 5 or 6 month period where he shot the movie, and so he didn't have he put his phone away. He didn't have his phone for any of that shooting because, back in the day they didn't have cell phones, so he wanted to be the character. And I love him. He's awesome. I really do need to see A Complete Unknown. Because it is nominated for Oscars. We talked about that, but also it's Timothée Chalamet. So I hope he continues to stay in, peak Timothée Chalamet. And he's still so young, too. I mean, I think he's mid-20s, but that's still young.
He's 29? What?
Oh my God, he's almost he's pushing 30.
See, it's like in my mind I'm like, oh, he's 25, but it's like, oh, that's how old he was when I first learned his age.
I will always picture him in Little Women. Like, he'll always be 25 to me, but wow, he's almost 30. Okay, that's still young though.
Yeah.
He still has 20 more years in the fame spotlight.
Yeah. But let's get in the ranking. I'm going to say third, Oscar noms. I think still in because we got some good ones, but it's third because what was all that Emilia Perez praise?
Yeah, their awards system was crazy.
Yeah.
Their nomination system, I should say.
Second in hyperpigmentation?
It hasn't,
because it's good, it's funny, but it has a short shelf life. So,
yeah, it does.
It's just a fun little trend.
It's one of those that's just going to go away next week.
Yeah. And then number 1, Timothée Chalamet. Just, his career's doing good. Good for him for Oscar noms. Good for him for hosting and musical guests on SNL. It's impressive. And, it's just cool to see that his career is still evolving and growing. I
know. I love him. We love him. That's a good list. But anyway, thank you guys so much for watching. Or listening, I guess I should say. We haven't had video yet. But we will see you next week, and I hope you all have a great rest of your week. So see ya.
Bye.